الحمد لله والصلاة والسلام على رسول الله وعلى آله وصحبه ومن والاه. أما بعد, need to pay attention. Very important topic for the entire family. We start by the saying of Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala, زين للناس حب الشهوات من النساء والبنين والقناطير المقنطرة من الذهب والفضة والخيل المسومة والأنعام والحرث ذلك متاع الحياة الدنيا والله عنده حسن المآب. This ayah talks about what we desire, in particular men. On top of all the desires that we have in this world, Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala started with an-nisa, women. Keep that in mind. Abdullah ibn Abbas radiyallahu anhu قال رسول الله صلى الله عليه وسلم ألا أخبركم برجالكم من أهل الجنة. Shall I tell you about men from the people of the Jannah? النبي في الجنة والصديق في الجنة والشهيد في الجنة والمولود في الجنة. يعني المولود اللي يموت وهو لم يبلغ الحلم. The prophets will be in Jannah. Truthful people will be in Jannah. Shaheed will be in Jannah. A child who died before becoming an adult will be in Jannah. Pay attention. Then he said, والرجل يزور أخاه في ناحية المصر لا يزوره إلا لله عز وجل. And the person who visits a sick person or just a person for the sake of Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala, يعني far away, a distance from him, his purpose is to visit him for the sake of Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala, will be in Jannah. And then he said sallallahu alayhi wa sallam, وَنِسَاؤُكُم مِّنْ أَهْلِ الْجَنَّةِ. Then it's like, you want me to tell you about women who will be in Jannah? We gave you 4 examples from the men, and now we're going to tell you about women. Al-Wadud. Al-Wadud, yani the very compassionate to her husband. Al-Walud, the one who bears lots of children. Al-A'ud, the one when her husband is upset with her, regardless his fault or her fault, what does she do? A'ud. He explained it sallallahu alayhi wa sallam. He said, إِذَا غَضِبَ زَوْجُهَا جَاءَتْ حتى تضع يدها في يد زوجها وتقول لا أذوق غمصا حتى ترضى. She would come to her husband, hold his hand, and she would tell him, I would not sleep a bit until you are pleased with me. Why are you smiling, brother?
I don't think any one of our wives is like that.
You said your wife never done that to you? Brother, remember, we're not talking about exceptions. We're not talking about people who deviated. We're talking about people of Jannah. You can choose to be from the people of the Jannah. Prophet Muhammad ﷺ has given you a guide. This is the guide to be in Jannah. If you don't want the Jannah, then don't follow it. This is for true men. Sahaba radiallahu anhum, when they heard, shall I tell you about women from the Jannah? All the sisters, the Sahabiyat, were ears. Yes, O Prophet of Allah, tell us, so we can take after them and do that. Now, of course, some of those things you can do, and some of it you can't do. I mean, a prophet, you cannot be a prophet, but you can be a siddiq, you can be truthful, you can act on the Quran and the Sunnah, to be a Siddiq. You can be a Shaheed. It's by even wishing or asking Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala the Shahada, you reach that. So, here Prophet Muhammad sallallahu alayhi wa sallam is telling you a woman who wants to be in Jannah is the very compassionate woman to her husband. A woman who bears children, because that's the whole goal of this world, is to raise children, have children, raise children to worship Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala. And that's why Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala created al-dhakar wal-untha, the male and the female, so you can have children. That's the whole goal of that. And we will see inshallah more. Keep in mind this hadith, and keep in mind another hadith before we get into the topic. يقول رسول صلى الله عليه وسلم ما تركت في الناس بعدي فتنة أضر على الرجال من النساء. He said, I have not left my followers or people in general with a trial more harmful to them, men in particular, than women. What does that mean? It means the biggest test on men is women. Why? We'll tell you why. الرسول صلى الله عليه وسلم قال استوصوا بالنساء فإن المرأة خلقت من ضلع وإن أعوج شيء في الضلع أعلاه فإن ذهبت تقيمه كسرته وإن تركته لم يزل أعوج فاستوصوا بالنساء. Recommendation from the Prophet ﷺ to all husbands and guardians, fathers and brothers and all, to take care of women because they are created from a rib, and the rib is not straight, crooked. Now, this word crooked has a negative connotation all the time in either language, in English or Arabic. So when you grin, you got the negative connotation of that. You like to have straight ribs, brother? You want me to straighten them up for you? We'll see how long you live. So naturally, the crooked ribs are positive. The creation of the ribs is positive to be crooked. Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala created the woman from the rib. And the rib is not straight. But this is the perfect creation for the woman. This is why she's created from the rib, because Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala wants her to be like that. So for her, it is positive to be crooked. For you, you take it in a negative way. But if you really understand the commands of Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala and the Prophet sallallahu alayhi wa sallam, why the Prophet sallallahu alayhi wa sallam say, take care of her? And he said it twice. Because she is fulfilling a purpose in this life. And this purpose in this life, she must be crooked. The crookedness here is positive. Yani she is not the way you are. She's not a man. Is that clear enough? And that's why the Prophet ﷺ said, if you want to straighten her, you break her. It's like I told the brother. And if you leave her the way she is, then you enjoy life with her. Because otherwise, she's no longer a woman. Make sense? ولا بس بتطلع علي انت؟ So you understand that, brother, right? Okay. So this is a guide for the husbands to be patient with the wife, to understand that negativity in our understanding is something positive for her. In order for him to enjoy being with her, she has to be this way. In order for her to take care of her children, she has to be this way. Otherwise, she will not fulfill the job. Let me ask you a question to show you how crooked you are. And this is a negative connotation, I mean it. You have your brother, your son, right? Yeah, حسس عليه your brother. When you cry at 2 a.m., who gets up? Your mom or your dad? Go ahead, answer me. Mom or dad? Mom, right? That tells you something. When the child is in need for you, what do you say to the child? If the child keeps crying and you fed him, you did everything possible, keeps crying, what do you start? You start talking to him like he's an adult. What's wrong with you? What do you want? I mean, and he's probably 1 month old. And the mother, she checks everything and makes sure he has everything, and he continues crying. She is increasing with compassion to him. Maybe he's sick. She stays up. She loses sleep. She doesn't think of any of that. Husband doesn't do that. If the woman is not with that crookedness, per se, as we are saying, she will not do that. Because you think you're straight, and your straightness did not help the child. So, Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala is saying, leave her as is. But you have to be patient. And you have to expect things that doesn't make sense to you. And that's why most of us, when we argue, when we complain, the husband would say, what's wrong with you? It's really what's wrong with you. Because the Prophet ﷺ told you you're going to expect something like that, and she chose you, hopefully she did, because of your religion. And if you are religious, then you know this. That's why the husband chooses a righteous woman. The righteous woman knows that taking care of her husband, taking care of her family is top priority. And this is what puts her in Jannah. So she will do everything possible. She will tame herself, tame her anger to please her husband and please her children and take care of the family. That way she can go to Jannah because she's religious. She knows that. But if your wife is not doing that, or any woman is not liking that, then naturally she's not religious. Obviously she's not religious. The same thing with the man. If the man is not patient with his wife, and he doesn't understand that sometimes he's just going to have to let go. That's why Imam Ahmad rahimahullah said 9/10 of manners is to act like you did not see it. Taghaful. 9/10 of the manners is to act like you did not see it, and this is in particular with the husband. If you start picking at everything your wife does, it's not going to make sense to you because she is not a man. And Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala created her in a different way than you. Then you need to understand that, and you need to be patient on certain things. And that's why it was reported that some of the Sahaba radiallahu anhum, when he is at home, he is like a little child with his wife. And when he goes outside, he's a tiger. We do the opposite, right, brother? When you are at home, you're a tiger. When you are outside, you're a, you know. Look at this. Some women may take advantage of this. So what do? They take advantage of it and they say, hey, since Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala created me this way, then I'm going to take advantage of my husband and do all the things that I want to do, halal or haram, because this is how Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala created me. No, you can't do that. Because the Prophet sallallahu alaihi wasallam gave this hadith to keep you on track. He said, Uritu an-nar, I was able to see hellfire. فَإِذَا أَكْثَرُ أَهْلِهَا النِّسَاء يَكْفُرْنَ. The majority of the dwellers of the hellfire, for means to disbelieve, but also it means to be ungrateful. So the companions asked the Sahabiyat, the women at that time, they said, أَيَكْفُرْنَ بِاللَّهِ? They disbelieve in Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala. قال لا يكفرن العشير ويكفرن الإحسان لو أحسنت إلى إحداهن الدهر ثم رأت منك شيئا قالت ما رأيت منك خيرا قط. He said, no, they are ungrateful to you when you treat them and do good to them. If you do to one of them all of your life perfect, and one time you did not do one thing the way she likes it, she would tell you, I have not seen anything good from you. Now who is this? Majority of sisters, the unrighteous one. And this guide here, when the Prophet ﷺ said, I saw hellfire, and the majority are women, this is a direct warning to sisters who fear Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala to take care of this, to do the opposite. I will be grateful to the husband. I will be thankful and grateful, and I will stop cussing and cursing, because that's another reason that the Prophet ﷺ said. So it's not taking advantage of it and letting things go. It's like you're forgiven. No, rather, there is a warning from that. You need to change this quality in you. You're created in a way that you are ungrateful. So you need to tame yourself to be grateful. Just like some people, they come and say, brother, this is the way I am. I always get angry. That's not an excuse. Why the Prophet ﷺ gave us so many ways to control our anger. So you continue to be angry. So you can be created in a way that you need to work hard to fix it. That's why the Prophet ﷺ said, وَمَنْ تَصَبَّرَ صَبَّرَهُ اللَّهُ. And anyone who practices patience, he will be helped to be patient. So the problem with you not patient is because you are not practicing patience and you're not asking Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala. So also Prophet Muhammad sallallahu alayhi wasallam. Now we have two hadith. One is telling us don't excuse, women are not excused, and you are tempted. Prophet Ibrahim alayhi salam, Prophet Adam alayhi salam, the scholars said that he slept. We know he was the first one to be created. He was alone in Jannah. He slept. And then Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala created Hawa from his left rib. And he woke up and there is Hawa next to him. He felt good. He did not get scared. He did not feel weird. You know why? Why, brother? Because she is part of him. She's not an alien, she's not a jinn, she's not anything different. She is created from him. So Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala, from day one, He put that comfort and love in His heart for her, and put that love and comfort in her heart for him. So this attraction that happened between Prophet Adam alayhi salam and his wife is continued to be until today for the purpose of having children. And some people say, had it been for the attraction, that sometimes people, when they have a problem with their spouse, they will divorce and think of never getting married again. Some people say that. But this attraction makes them change their mind quick. And some wives, when they deliver the baby, they would think that they will never have a baby again. But the love for the baby and having more babies, that Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala created them with the fitrah on it, make them get pregnant again and have baby again. So look at the perfection of Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala and how He put that love. So Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala put so much love in the heart of men that you cannot measure it. You cannot. It's beyond imagination that the husband is willing to commit kufr. kufr, to disbelieve in Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala, some of them, because of a woman, because of the love of a woman. Husbands cut relationships with their kinship, with their mom, with their dad, with everything, because of a woman. Husbands get involved in haram, working in haram and doing haram things, because of the love for the woman. So this is the danger of a woman if she is not righteous. She can destroy a society, entire society, one woman. One, if she is unrighteous and she wants to do it, she can do it because of the immense attraction of men to women in general. And on the other hand, if the woman is righteous, she can raise angels and generations and fix homes and fix society and everything. And that's why people always focus on women when they want to destroy a society, not on anything else. And that's why the shaitan, one of the tabi'een, students of the Sahaba radiallahu anhum, said, when the shaitan fails to deviate a person, he would come to him from women's side. Yeah, and if he tries with money, it's not working. He tries with this, it's not working. He will start doing things with him relating to women to destroy him, because he knows how much he is attracted to women. Women attracted to men for protection and for leadership. That's why you don't see women looking too much about how good looking the man is. Some of them may look for that, but this is never a goal. And if a woman looks for a man for his looks, she's not normal. Yes, it's okay to like the looks, but that is not top priority. For men, top priority is looks. Who curves that? Religion. Because you want to go to Jannah, you start focusing on religion. Women, they look for leadership, and leadership requires what? Money. And that's why they are willing to marry a rich man regardless, because of that. Have you ever seen a man marrying a woman simply because he wants her to spend on him? How many of you saw that? That a man seeks marriage, look for a rich woman because I want her to go to work and pay the rent and buy food for the family and everything. No one thinks of that. Because every man knows that he is the man, and what makes him a man is to spend and take care of his wife. And on the other hand, men don't care for that. They don't care. They look mainly for the looks, but the religion is what Prophet Muhammad sallallahu alaihi wasallam guide us to do that. So he said sallallahu alaihi wasallam, to curb that feeling that women are forgiven, he said, Ya ma'shar al-nisa tasaddaqna min huliyukun. O women, give charity from your gold, from your jewelry. فإني رأيتكن أكثر أهل النار. I have seen you the vast majority of the people of hellfire. And then one of the companions said, why? He said, for kufr al-ashir, ungrateful to husband, as we mentioned before. But look here and pay attention. We have a lot of intelligent people. Actually, Rasul sallallahu alaihi wasallam said, too many men were perfect. Too many. Women, 4 perfect. Asiya, the wife of Fir'aun. Fatima, the daughter of Prophet Muhammad sallallahu alaihi wasallam. Khadija, the wife. You want to continue? Khadija radiallahu anha, the wife of the Prophet sallallahu alaihi wasallam. And who's the 4th one? Maryam ibn Imran. Maryam, the daughter of Imran. 4 complete, perfect from women, and too many from men. Remember what we said, the creation of women, the creation of men. So here Prophet Muhammad sallallahu alaihi wasallam said, we have so many perfect people, and we have so many intelligent ones, and the woman likes to have an intelligent man. That's why when we talk about jewelry and necklaces and bracelets for men, this is not, brother, you're not going to impress any woman with that. Trust me. I don't know why men wear it. They think that they look cool when they wear it. I don't know if they're wearing it for sisters or they're wearing it for, what do you think they're wearing it for? You have no idea. Yeah, what suits a man is to look like a man. Not good-looking muscles. There's a difference between muscles and good-looking muscles. Muscles is the muscles that results from work. Your job, a farmer, a tradesman, someone who digs and carries and walks and helps and does and builds and all of that. Not someone who goes relaxed, air-conditioned and carry weights, useless time. You're spending your time. You're not benefiting anyone with that weight that you're carrying. And I cannot forget my mom when she used to tell my brother. She told him, why don't you go do something productive instead of carrying rocks and doing nothing with it. Go chop some wood, go dig some ground, go pick some fruit or something where at least you benefit someone. So I start doing that. When we go chop wood, we use hand saw, brother, not electric. That's for wimps. Hand saw. We cut the tree 6 hours, going back and forth. This is a lot of muscle work. Here, people, they go get a rope and they stop pulling on it in the gym, and they call themselves exercising. So you go do that. So instead of doing a chainsaw, I develop something new. So I take the log and I put it between two rocks, and I go carry a big rock over my head, and boom, I drop it on it and I break it in half. So instead of cutting it in half an hour, I cut it with one head at the same time and carrying weights. That's beneficial. So when I go to the gym now, when I look at people, I say, what a waste of time. This is beauty. It's not something that is helpful. That's why every time they lift, that's why they have mirrors everywhere. You want to see this muscle bigger than this one, and little this one, and big this one, and you have a guide. Yeah, you have to do 6 reps, and 7 reps, and 3. Get out of my town. So a woman wants a strong man, wants a real man, who can provide for her, not who just stands in the front of a mirror looking at his muscles. That is something sisters have to judge, but I'm guessing from the Sahaba radiallahu anhu. Look at Khalid ibn al-Walid. Khalid ibn al-Walid. He came from a battle. He saved an army in the Battle of Mu'tah. Saved an army that was about to get annihilated, which is something awesome. But because he came back and there was no fighting, guess what women did? The Sahabiyat. كلهم يا شيخ حسين. Were they happy? يلا بسرعة يا زلمة. Who knows? Anyone knows the Battle of Mu'tah? No. They were basically saying negative things, losers, because they came back from the fighting. And that's when Prophet Muhammad ﷺ defended Khalid ibn Walid and gave him the title Sayfullah al-Maslul. Because what he did is awesome. He's not because they thought women were thinking that they were coward, basically. That's why they came back from the fight and they did not fight. So look what women are focusing on. Strength and courage and fighting. When they came back, they called him coward. It's not like, oh, ya Habibi, welcome back. I'm so happy that you came. Like our sisters nowadays, because they don't care about fighting. They don't care about... That is the crookedness which is negative. This is someone Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala created you in a certain way and you deviate. This is Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala giving you a certain feature naturally and then you go remove it. and change it, and Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala did not want you to change it. He wants you to keep it. And that is the negative thing. So, look what the Prophet ﷺ said here about intelligent people here. قال ما رأيت من ناقصات عقل ودين أذهب للب الرجل الحازم من إحداكن. Boy, this is dangerous. A very intelligent person, very decisive person, very powerful person, very strong person, a woman makes him lose his mind just like that. That's what the Prophet ﷺ addressed women. He said, I have not seen anyone who can deviate such a straightforward man than any of you can do. Why is that? Because of the attraction of men to women. Men love to look and women love to present. That is the natural thing. What controls that? Nothing except religion. Only the man who lowers his gaze, the righteous and the pious one. Other men, they love to look. In fact, that's why they don't like women to wear hijab. If they wear hijab, they're not going to enjoy themselves. So they're going to talk about it in different ways, but of course, that is the reason. And women, they love attention. That's why they do what they do and they dress the way they dress and they wear the way they wear to attract attention, even if they say they just like to look like this. It's not for attention, it is for attention. And the shaitan, as soon as a woman leaves the house, focuses on her. What does he do? Whispers to her, get some of those little hairs from here. You know, your hijab should not be, just slide it up a little bit. It looks cute to show a little bit hair. Make some of that earrings show from here. You know, it's covering the hair. Alhamdulillah, you're covering the hair. Show your ears or part of your ears. That's not hair. Neck is not included. So shaitan would walk like this, dress like this, smell like this. What for? To deviate men. He knows how much men likes women. And that's why, in fact, some of the scholars, when you read the ayah in Surah An-Nisa, وَخُلِقَ الْإِنسَانُ ضَعِيفًا, that the human being is created weak. Some of the scholars related to that, the weakness of a man when it comes, how weak he is when it comes to women. So with all of this, brothers and sisters, what do you end up with? You end up with, take care of your wife, be patient with her, accept her the way she is, and inshaAllah, you go to Jannah. And sister, take care of your husband, care for his happiness, and as the Prophet ﷺ said, he's either your way to heaven or your way to hell. What does that mean? If you take care of him, you go to Jannah. If you don't go to Jannah, even if you fulfill what Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala wants as far as salah and fasting and all that. That's why he sallallahu alayhi wa sallam said, Man sallat khamsaha wa samat shahraha wa ata'at zawjaha wa hafidat farjaha qila la adkhul al-jannah min ay abwabiha thamaniya. Any woman who prays 5 times a day, fast the month of Ramadan, obey her husband, chaste herself, she will enter Jannah from any of the 8 doors. And the hadith that we mentioned, and when a woman came, the Prophet ﷺ said, you have a husband? She said, yes. He said, how is your relationship with him? She said, I fulfill anything for him as much as I can. He said, be careful. He's either your way to Jannah or your way to hell. And sisters, you decide on that, where you want to go. سبحانك اللهم وبحمدك أشهد أن لا إله إلا أنت أستغفرك وأتوب إليك والسلام عليكم ورحمة الله وبركاته.
جزاك الله خير.
حياكم.